going to have to play how he played in his victory. And for Math Guy to win, if he just plays a clean race, if he doesn't take any deaths, he should have a good chance of pulling off this victory and go to 2-1. This is our third week of the Swiss rounds here in the tournament.
Yeah, and I like to say these, it's very important to know that we've got, when the two people's best times in the tournament are within 4 or 5 minutes of each other, all it takes is a death in 9.
Absolutely right. So it looks like this race is going to be underway very, very shortly now. Looks like we are now underway. We'll get everybody in sync in just a moment. Both of these players, of course, they're picking up their sword that they'll need, and let's see how they do with the paths. Math Guy is going to start with the traditional world record route, and he's going to head for level 3. Dan, meanwhile, is taking the easier path. He's going to start with level 2 first.
Yeah, Math Guy has one of the faster times for anyone who runs this game on an emulator. With that, I think his PB is is around like 33 or 32, maybe. Actually, it may even be lower than that. But in any event,
31 minutes and 21 seconds is his PB. Yes.
Yeah, one of the best times for an emulator runner. Just shows to go what skill he does possess in this game, because it's generally considered to be more difficult to hit the nuances of this game when you're not playing on the original hardware.
Yes, and we do have a divergence of paths. I do apologize. Math Guy is on the right, Dan H on the left. Math Guy is doing the traditional world record route, doing a level 3 first. Dan H doing level 2 first.
Yeah, and what we'll see here is that that will give Dan H a bit more firepower going into some of the trickier early fights, like dealing with Gleeok in level 4. But later on, he will have a much bigger crunch when it comes to bombs. So we'll have to be very careful with his bomb management as the race goes on. He's doing a great job so far, though.
Math Guy needs to be very careful. He's down to 1 heart. He takes a bot from an orange Darknut or a Manhandla. He is down for the count. Now, in this contest, a death means that the contestant will have to go back to the screen they died on before they can continue their quest. So right now, Math Guy going through the horizontal shoot room, and he'll clear these room full of keys to get a key drop. Unfortunately, one of the keys has decided not to play very nice.
Yeah, it's actually getting some bomb in there. He'll get the key in the next room, but yeah, now he's got some bombs, because otherwise it'd be pretty ineffective against Manhandla.
Absolutely. Dan H made quick work of level 2, so he's got his first Triforce piece. There's the key that Math Guy will need, and he'll go ahead and go to the south so he can preserve his key. So he's going to bomb to the east here, this Darknut room, and then he'll make his way to the Manhandla fight. Now, he has to be very careful. Math Guy's hope is that he gets a bullseye, the one-hit knockout of Manhandla, because if he takes one bop, he's out.
He's definitely trying to keep his distance, but he's out of bombs, and he takes another death. This is everything that Dan H could possibly want out of the early part of this run.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, Math Guy was not able to get the one-hit knockout. Now that he's out of the bombs, he's going to have to go out of level 3 and come back later when he's got some bombs. So a very tough start for Math Guy. And as you said, yeah, this is the start that Dan H needs for him to get into this race. If he can play the rest of this cleanly, I think we're going to have ourselves a ball game going into level 9.
Oh, yeah, and I tend to suspect that Dan's going to have a bit more defense than Math Guy in level 9 as well. I could be wrong there, but we see him heading towards the White Sword, as Math Guy does get a pack of 4 bombs, but considering his first 2 attempts in level 3, he's decided maybe that wasn't enough.
He's got 4 bombs. I mean, you can do it in as few as 1 bombs. And it looks like Math Guy's going to go for it on 4 bombs. Now, of course, maybe he could get lucky and maybe get some extra bombs from the Orange Darknuts, which are in the bomb-dropping group. Dan H is going to go ahead and pick up this White Sword. That is going to double his attack power, 2 hit points of damage that the Strike will do now instead of the 1 that the Wooden Sword does.
Yeah, and He will need that to pay dividends for the next 15 or 20 minutes of this race, because that's the time wherein he'll have more attack power than Math Guy.
Dan has to be very, very careful. He's down to his last half a heart. If he takes a death, he has to go back to that screen. And Troll Handless striking again. These bombs are not connecting, and Math Guy needs to hit. He does.
Oh, he does, but he got hit too. So no bombs stored for on the Manhandle fight. So he's leaving level 3 with 0 bombs. That's going to be an issue for level 4.
Dan taking a death in the overworld, but it's not the worst place in the world he could have taken a death. He took the death right outside of level 1, so he just needs to go back up right here. He'll be back to that screen again, so his time loss will be minimum.
Yeah. Fortunately, yeah. I mean, you wanted to, if you're, ideally, you want to make it into the dungeon before you die so that you don't have to do any backtracking, but 2 screens outside of the dungeon that you're headed to anyway, that's not very far from the start location of the game, you're fine.
Yep, so Dan doing a little pirouette trick that gets rid of the door. Math Guy was able to farm some bombs, because you need at least 2 bombs here in level 4, which he's just entered, and he's got the full capacity of 8, so he's in good shape in that department now.
Yeah, because level 4 is not exactly the kind of dungeon that is kind when it comes to handing out resources like rupees or bombs. Especially when you're on the wood sword route that he is, because the Vyres, the Zulls, none of them are going to drop anything unless you give them a bomb.
In fact, even with Dan H's situation, he won't be able to get any bombs unless he forces a 10 count. 10 count, for those of you who may be new to The Legend of Zelda, when you clear 10 enemies in a row without taking any damage, without getting hit by anything. If you bomb the 10th enemy and it is in the drop group, any drop group at all, you will be guaranteed a set of 4 bombs. Now, if you stab the 10th enemy instead of bombing it, then you get a 5 rupee instead. Also, if you bomb the 10th enemy and it's in a non-drop group, for example, likes, then it is stored, and if you stab the next dropping enemy, provided you don't take any damage, then you'll get the set of 4 bombs that way.
Yep, we saw that from Math Guy there in the so-called breakfast room in level 4 with the likes. He bombed down a like, and then the next dropping enemy he killed gave him a bomb.
Ooh, and Dan H taking a death to those gorillas. Now, it's not too far from where he was, so he will go back to the start, but it's, again, not the worst place he could have taken a death, but still, all deaths matter in his situation, because, again, Math Guy is the favorite to win this race, but again, that's why you play the game.
Oh, absolutely, but yeah. Most of the time, those gorillas are better left ignored. If you can make it through there without them bothering you, you're better off not even thinking about them. But he seems determined to fight them, and he does get a bomb and a boomerang for his troubles.
Yes, the wooden boomerang, or Lord Banana, as we like to call it in the Zelda randomizer community, is the drop in that room. And it's good for stunning enemies, and you may want to consider that. And also, I find it very useful against Dig Dogger segments. You can stun them because they act as a normal enemy.
I will say that's the first time I've seen someone in this tournament pick up a boomerang. As we see Math Guy dropping a bomb on Gleeok, trying to get fancy and force a bomb off of him. Didn't work out for him. I guess he missed the count because I don't think he hit the Gleeok head quite the way he wanted to.
But nonetheless, Math Guy does get a clean Gleeok fight in. He has all of his health, so he will have no refill at the end of that level. So pretty well played there by Math Guy.
Yeah. He's, because of his multiple trips into level 3 now, he does have more rupees than one tends to have in this situation, because he only needs 30 before he finishes his next dungeon. He's going to have plenty of opportunities to get that last rupee.
Yeah, especially when you have skeletons, the Stelphos, of course, which I believe are in the money-dropping group. So, yeah, Math Guy, in fact, he's already got his 30 rupees right now. And H going to head for level 3 next. He'll have 6 hearts and the white sword. So if his bomb shots go a little bit wayward, he'll have a better chance of taking care of the manhandler. Plus, the orange dark nuts will only go down in 2 hits rather than the 4 from the wood sword.
Yeah. And coming in with as many bombs as he is, this is another one of the things about running 2 first is you have the option to skip over some of these dark nuts that Math Guy was forced to fight because he needed the bombs.
Speaking of bombs, Math Guy's not in a very good situation right now. He's got no bombs to this name, and he gets no drop from the gorillas. Math Guy doing a perfect block clip there. He's going to go ahead and pick up his bow, which you need in order to take down the Goma, and of course Ganon as well. Dan going now into this orange dark nut room. He still has all of his health. Nice little situation where he took advantage of the iframes of the dark nut so that he wouldn't take damage, and that's why Dan still has his beam sword.
Yeah, there is a scripted way to get through that little section without taking any damage. It's one of those things that I know what it is, and about 60% of the time I actually pull it off.
Indeed, and Math Guy not going to bother with that gorilla room, and I mean, rightly so. Get hit by the orange gorillas, you only lose half a heart, but it's their boomerangs that do a lot of damage. Get hit by a boomerang, you lose 1 full heart.
As we see Dan H making use of that white sword against those dark nuts to refill his bombs. He's going to have 7 bombs with which to combat Manhandla.
Yeah, absolutely, but again, you want to have at least 2 bombs left over because he's going to go to level 4 next, and you're going to need at least 2 bombs to get through it. Unfortunately, does not get the bullseye, can't get it on the second try either, and Troll Handler being Troll Handler, but does finally get it and a free bomb drop.
That's the way to do it there. I mean, slow and steady. Obviously, in a perfect world, he got that in 1 or 2 bombs, but he's leaving with 129 rupees and 7 bombs, so I doubt he's going to complain too much.
A&H is in pretty good shape right now. Both of these players have 3 dungeons under their belts. Let's see. Looks like Math Guy. Is he going to head for level 5 next or level 2 next? Well, not either one. He's going to pick up some heart containers first.
Yep, looks like he's heading in the general route, though, that does 2 first and then 5 and picks up the red candle.
Yep, he's going to go and check this, take any spot at the raft area and pick up this heart container. He's got 7 heart containers now. Dan H is now tackling level 4. He'll have a much better chance of taking down Gleeok with his white sword. Because instead of 10 wooden sword hits for the first head and 6 for the second head, you're dealing with 5 white sword strikes with the first head and 3 for the second head.
Yep. White Sword Gleeok feels like a very small hurdle once you've tried to kill it with the wood sword and 4 hearts.
Boy, that was a nice bomb shot right there by Dan H to get his bomb count up there and force a drop of bombs from those fires. He's back to the maximum 8 again.
We see Math Guy now in level 2. He and Dan H are actually going to run into the same problem of running levels 5 and 7 consecutively. 2 very bomb-heavy dungeons when done optimally. So we could see some tricky bomb routing as we move on in this race.
The way this race is shaping up right now, resource management could be a factor because you need at least 5 bombs to complete level 7, but optimally you need at least 7 bombs. Dan having a little trouble doing this block clip here, or the ladder clip here in this T room. Just needs to focus here. There we go. Got through that. Yeah, the way this is shaping up right now, Liquid Husband, we've got Dan H about to complete his 4th level, likewise for Math Guy. These 2 paths are going to converge, and they're going to be taking the same route the rest of the way. 5, 7, 6, 8.
Yeah. I just feel like I think we're going to see one of them with the white sword and blue ring, and the other with the wood sword and green tunic. Although I guess it's possible that Dan is on the is on the 2 first red candle route, where he would not be picking up the blue ring.
Pretty smooth Gliok fight right there by Dan. He's got his 4th Triforce piece as well, so we pretty much have an even race. Math Guy going to have a slight advantage over Dan going into level 5. Going to bomb Monocle Rock here to pick up his 10th heart container from the Take Any Cave.
So, I mean, this is an early time in the race to have 10 hearts, I guess, but it's just a product of his routing, picking some things up in a slightly different order than your standard world record route, but he will be heading, it's like, up to the 100 secret now.
Speaking of routing, Dan's going to go ahead and go on the shopping spree. He's got enough rupees to do so. By 5 rupees, he's going to go ahead and purchase this bait here in the Blue Ring shop. Then he's going to go to this shop to the south and purchase the wood arrows. And again, you need the arrows with the bow that you got in level 1 to take down the Goma that we're going to see in level 6.
It's amazing how so many items are required in these seeds laws.
Yeah, we do a lot of randomizer commentary, and yes, there is a lot of inventory that you need. Of course, you need the candle to get to level 8. Some people will buy the blue candle. Others might do a route where you grab the red candle in level 7, and we'll explain that more when we get to level 7.
Yeah, but you know, raft blocked, recorder blocked, I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff. Goma blocked.
Now, Goma blocks are actually relatively uncommon in randomize. At least I find it to be relatively uncommon. But here in this game, it's always going to be required.
Yep. So we see Math Guy here in level 5, and he's about to enter one of the most crucial rooms in a Zelda 1 speedrun. Sometimes called the Room of Requirement. It's the blue dark nut room that you must clear in order to pick up the recorder. And
they take a hefty amount of hits. 8 wood sword hits, and Math Guy, he's only got 5 bombs, so he's not going to have many bombs to work with to do damage. Every time you get a bomb off and you connect with them, 4 hearts of damage. But you got to make sure that you throw the bombs correctly, because if you throw a bomb at them and they are, you know, heading right towards it and you're facing them, it's not going to do any damage. In fact, they're going to deflect the damage. So now Math Guy has no more bombs, and he still has 4 more blue dark nuts left. And every time you get hit by him, you lose 2 hearts. So this could be a interesting situation here that Math Guy's in.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to force a bomb drop off of the dark nuts, but he did take a bot before he got his last bomb to register. So I'm not sure if that was going to be the one that got him his bomb drop. But fortunately, dark nuts are in the health dropping group, so hopefully for his sake, he can leave here without too much damage.
Yeah, that's correct. They tend to drop lots of hearts and fairies, so there's still a chance. Yes, there's the fairy. Math Guy now gets a beam sword. That should help him.
Yeah, beam sword helps you take care of these dark nuts a little more safely, but it doesn't make it any faster. I feel like when I find myself with beam sword against dark nuts, I actually do the room a bit slower than if I have a regular sword, because I'm not being nearly as aggressive in taking them on.
You want to keep beam sword as long as possible, so that would be the instinct, because that way if you're throwing a beam sword at the dark nuts, you are far away from taking any damage, but it does decrease the accuracy. That is a good point you make there, husband, there. So now Dan H with 6 bombs at his disposal. Now he has a white sword, so they'll go down in 4 hits. Let's see how he decides to make his plan of attack. He's going to go for the bomb and sword combination here.
Yeah, he had a good pattern there. Those 3 dark nuts lined up for that first bomb. You almost can't help but drop the bomb there. But we will see these guys coming out of here start to try to figure out a bomb plan. As we see Math Guy taking some bombs from these Dodongos, because he knows he's going to need at least 7 bombs to do level 7 the way that he wants to, which is what's coming up next.
Looks like Dan is going to try to conserve his bombs, and now he really needs to be careful. Unfortunately, there's a heart drop. I was just about to mention, these blue dark nuts are not dropping any hearts or fairies for Dan. He's down to 2.5 hearts. But thankfully, for his sake, he does clear the room, and he'll go ahead and pick up his recorder.
Yeah. My guess is that I assume he left the bombs in the Gibdo room behind, and he's just going to pick those up on his way through to be able to have a full complement of 8 bombs for the rest of the dungeon in level 7.
All right, let's see what Math Guy's strategy is going to be. In his case, he's probably going to go for the single bomb and 4 wooden sword hits. Let's see what he decides to do against Dig Dogger.
That would be most likely. As we saw Dan, use the boomerang in that staircase.
Hey, absolutely, yeah. Making good use of the boomerang to take down the Keese and stun Gibdos, pick up the bombs, and Math Guy gets his Triforce out of level 5.
We have Nanner Strats officially on this race.
Yeah, TG would be proud of Dan H if he's watching this one.
So let's see, yeah, Dan H is just going to be on a mad dash to get to Dig Dogger at this point. Because he's not... yeah, you might try to get some health off of these Zulls with his white sword. And he does get a heart at least, which will help.
Dan H is going to be about a minute behind when he completes level 5, but he's going to gain some of that time back because Math Guy now has to do his shopping spree here, where he'll pick up his bait and he'll pick up his wooden arrows.
As we see the recorder usage on that screen by Math Guy, it's been called the tricorder. It helps with the lag on the shopkeeper and saves a whistle blow later when you're leaving level 6.
Most definitely right there. So we've got Math Guy going to purchase his wooden arrows, and he still has 9 rupees to spare. I don't think either one of these players bought the blue candle, so it looks like both these players are doing the red candle route. Good news for Dan H. He decides to not even use any bombs against Dig Dogger and just use his white sword. 4 white sword hits, he still has his 8 bombs.
Oh man, so he's got an extra bomb for level 7, so look, maybe he's going to double bomb. Oh no. That's all the bombs. So he's got an extra bomb. That's great.
Yep. 20 minutes and 57 seconds. Math Guy enters into level 7. Now, here's what I'm going to explain about level 7. In addition to the bomb holes that you've got to use those bombs wisely to bomb through many holes. 33 rooms. That's how big this level 7 is. And a lot of them are bomb blocked. So that's why you need so many bombs to get through level 7. Now, about the candles. Blue candle, which you see a lot of the top speedrunners go through, they'll make that purchase. You can fire it only once per screen. If you want to fire it again, you got to go to another screen. Red candle, you can fire it as many times as you want, but you got to keep in mind only 2 shots can be on the screen at the same time. 21:33 is the entry for Dan H. So it's about 40 seconds. This is relatively close.
Yeah. Anytime that Dan can make up with having the white sword in this dungeon will certainly also go towards his credit. He's got 18 rupees here if he wanted to get some arrows out to handle this room, but he looks like he's going to be able to take care of it just fine without it. Those gorillas lining up perfectly for him.
Does take one final bop to the face, but he does get the heart right back as it dropped a heart just for him. So now let's see how Math Guy does here. He's about to enter this room where he's going to pick up the red candle. Try to get through that without getting bopped back. Successful. There's the red candle. Math Guy now has what he needs to get to level 8.
I do enjoy a good red candle route.
Yeah, me too. I think red candle is one of the more underrated items in The Legend of Zelda. Very effective against Gibdos, and if you're far away from them, they're pretty effective against those Landmolas.
Oh, gosh. Let's stay away from them in this run, though, please.
Well, the good news is you're only going to get to see them once. The orange Landmolas in level 9, but we'll talk about that when we get there.
So yeah, we see Dan picking up his red candle now. Like you said, just a small amount behind Math Guy, but Math Guy's got to be careful here. He's got 3.5 hearts to Dan H's 7.5.
Yeah, that's right. Math Guy has only 1 bomb left to his name as well, and he's got to be careful that he doesn't lose any. He's also got to be careful. This is my least favorite room in the entire game. This is a reverse C room, 5 wall masters, and freaking bubbles. Because when you get by a bubble, you lose access to your sword for about 5 seconds. But Math Guy takes care of it, no problem at all. You have plenty of rupees like Dan H. We may see some bow and arrow strats against the wall masters.
Yeah, although the red candle came in handy. Oh, wow. Using the banana. Look at that. He saved his bombs.
And I told you that that would be a strategy against the Dig Dogger, and Dan H made that work to perfection.
I mean, he may not win this race, but he is certainly exhibiting some impressive style. Also impressive is that we have not seen a single clock in this reverse C Wallmaster room. That's usually the death of me in here.
Boy, and Dan H got a very favorable bubble pattern because one of the bubbles didn't even spawn until after the fight was over. So Dan H catching a break right there in that room made it look easy.
He did until after he had killed them, and then the bubbles refused to let him push block. But man, being able to leave this dungeon with the bombs that he is, he's getting a little kill crazy in this Gorilla room, though.
He's trying to get a bomb drop from the orange Gorilla, but it was unsuccessful in doing so. So now he's going to take care of this Aqua Mentis. He'll have most of his health, so his refill is going to be minimum. And it's going to be a 36-second lead for Math Guy coming out of level 7. So this is still pretty close. And again, that white sword is going to make things a little bit easier for Day and Age, but that is about to be neutralized as Math Guy is going to pick up this magical sword, which is going to quadruple his attack power. It's now 4 hit points of damage that each hit will take against an enemy, and Day and Age will pick up that same magical sword as well.
Yep, he's gonna scroll quickly over to the grave as well, and man, that was one of the more interesting attacks of level 7 that I've seen in a while. I really like that from Dan H, though. That was fun to watch.
There's a little bit of a problem, though, right now. Math Guy has no bombs at all. And if he does not get a bomb drop from the orange wizards coming up in the magical breakfast room, he's going to have to do what JSR2 Gamers just posted in chat. He's going to have to take down the Gliok of Shame.
I didn't see how many keys he has killed consecutively here for his counters, but...
well, it won't really matter because he's not going to get a bomb drop. He's going to have to hope and get lucky against these orange wizards. He's only got a couple more to deal with, and if we don't see a bomb drop, he's going to have to take the long way. No bomb drop!
Yeah, I meant for his count for a random bomb, but he's still got one more chance here.
That's correct. This room right here, this broken triple bar room, needs to get a bomb drop. No, he's not even going to go for it. He's going to just tank it and take care of this 3-headed Gliok.
Well, at least there'll be some practice for level 8.
Yep, 7 hits is all it's going to take. 3 for the first head, 2 for the other 2. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world there for Math Guy. It's just going to take a little bit longer. And this could give Dan a chance to catch up some more if he has a good breakfast room, magical breakfast room.
He's currently not having a good breakfast room. He kind of got off track a little bit.
In fact, he's got to be careful. Oh, there's the bomb drop. The one that Math Guy
somebody. Yeah, at least somebody got it. The good news, though, is if he dies, that room will not respawn because of the bubble still being in there.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about bubbles in this dungeon. When you clear a room full of wizards, it's permanently locked until you exit the dungeon. So that's one good thing about bubbles. I can't believe I'm saying good things about bubbles, like my husband.
Oh, and Dan H would much rather seen a fairy than a bomb from that last fire, but he does have 8 bombs now, at least, for Magical Breakfast 2, or Magical Brunch, if you will.
Yep. Well, he's taking care of a couple of the wizards, just has 1 more left to go. He should be in good shape. He's got it.
Very well done. That first bomb that he dropped in there, hitting all of the... It hit 3 wizards and 2 like-likes, I think, or something like that. It was a lot.
8 rupees. Oh, that was close. Math Guy almost didn't get the 1 cycle Goma there. That could have been a 2 cycle Goma of shame right there. But thankfully for his sake, he does take him down. But now we got a problem. Dan H is down to 1.5 hearts. He's got to be careful. He takes a hit from any Wizrobe. It's going to be very costly. You need to be careful here. He's through.
He does take the kind of circuitous route around now if he can just make sure Goma doesn't fireball him. Okay, so he's going to make it through level 6. Still about 25 seconds or so behind, I'd say.
Yeah, he's caught up, so this is still anybody's race right now. Plus, he got a fairy at the end, so that's going to decrease his refill time. So next up, Math Guy and Dan H are going to head for level 8. And level 8 is no great shakes either.
No. Math Guy did just get a bomb drop off of a blue moblin in the overworld, and fortunately has the red candle instead of the blue because he missed the bush the first time.
Yeah, that's another good thing about the red candle. If you're a bad shot at the candle like I am, Liquid Husband, you can just fire it again. You don't have to leave the room. You can just fire it again.
It's only on Candle Row. That's the only place that I'm allowed to miss.
Right. But the bomb situation, if he didn't get that random bomb, he would have been in trouble because you have to have a couple of bombs for level 8.
Yeah, and 1 right off the bat.
That's right, against this Manhandla, and Dan H is able to tackle it. We have 2 blue Lagoon rooms. The first one has 5 blue Dark Nuts, and the second one has 6 blue Dark Nuts, and they are both required to clear. By this point, you've got the magical sword, so it only takes 2 hits to take them down. But what makes it really complicated, these turret statues that fire fireballs at you constantly.
Yeah, and Jay Coper making a very solid point in chat, as he always notices these things I seem to miss. Math Guy is short a key right now because of his roundabout way he went in level 6.
Yeah, that could prove to be costly.
I mean, there's one in this spiral staircase room after this. He just has to remember to grab it, or else he's going to have to figure out something else.
All right, now we have Dan H. Clearing that second blue Lagoon room. Math Guy is about to go against Gliok. He has 7 hearts to his name right now, so he shouldn't be in too bad of a shape. Well, he just picked up an extra heart right here. Needs 9 hits to take down this 4-headed Gliok. And I'm telling you, Dan H is hot on his heels, and he's got 9 hearts to take care of that Gliok. Math Guy takes down Gliok. 30 minutes and 23 seconds is the time of the 8th and final Triforce pickup, and Dan H is just tanking this Gliok right here. 1 more head to go, and he's going to be in there at about 30 minutes, and it's going to be 39 seconds. It's 16 seconds, and now Math Guy's going back to level 8 because he now knows he's short a key.
Yep, so there's a key right here on the inside. This is officially a honest-to-God bona fide race laws.
This is literally a dead tie. In fact, Dan H is going to take a very slight lead on Math Guy going into level 9. But here is a problem for Dan H. Look at his bomb count. Only 5. Problem for Math Guy. Look at his bomb count. Only 2 bombs. Both these guys are going to have to take down Patra 1.
Yeah, unless they can get a bomb. Looks like Dan might be fishing for a bomb on the overworld, though. Maybe working a count towards the blue Lionels later.
Oh, he gets the bomb. Nice.
Oh.
Very nice for Dan H. Now let's see. Is he going to go for the potion here?
Looks like it, yeah.
Yes.
And honestly, if he doesn't feel like he can run level 9 faster than Math Guy, this is 100% the correct play.
Absolutely.
Because if his only shot is to survive level 9 and hope Math Guy dies, then there's no reason not to pick up this potion.
Absolutely. It's a very smart play. Math Guy is going to have no potion going into level 9, so any death by Math Guy is going to give Dan H a chance to slide on in and take the win. Now, Math Guy, keep in mind, he's only got 1 bomb, so Patra 1 is going to be mandatory, but I think, don't quote me on this, but I think he may need a lucky bomb drop somewhere along the way.
Yeah, he was, I think you only need 5 once you're inside level 9.
If that's the case, then he should be all right on bombs, but he'll have no spare for reverse C coming up.
Yeah, that's the only thing there. Yeah, he's going to have to either get a lucky bomb drop or force one. Maybe run up a count on the old man. There's a couple of ways to attack this. None of them are optimal, but they are all doable.
Dan H was having a little bit of trouble there. The bubbles were not being very kind to him, so Math Guy is going to keep his lead, but he's going to lose some of that lead by taking down this Patra 1. This is where Dan H could slide on by and take the lead again. Boy, what a race this is between these 2 competitors. It's going to come down to the wire.
Oh, man, this is exciting. Because Dan, for one, he's not going to have to fight Patra 1. Now, Math Guy blew through it like it was nothing. Let's see what Math Guy does here. If he goes up and... Nope, he's just gonna go on to the next room, as the old man suggests.
He's gonna hope for a lucky bomb drop. He gets a lucky bomb! Oh, Math Guy getting extra bombs for reverse C. Wow, what a break. Now, Dan H in some trouble here. He's down to 2.5 hearts. Needs to be careful. He's got 2 potions. If you need it, use it.
Yeah. I was about to say, let's not talk about reverse C just yet, because Math Guy took about 3 hits from the Wizrobe, as that Wizrobe giving bombs to everybody today.
Wow, he's like the Oprah Winfrey of Wizrobes. You get a set of bombs. You get a set of bombs. Everybody look under your seats. Getting a free set of 4 bombs tonight. All
right, let's see if... I was about to say, let's see how long Dan can keep these beams. It didn't last very long, but hopefully he can get some of that health back before heading into Reverse C, as I'm sure that's probably where he was targeting for using his first potion thereabouts.
Math Guy taking no chances. He's going to take down Patra 2 and go to the staircase, because next up he's going to be heading for the silver arrows, which are heavily guarded by 2 rooms full of wizrobes.
Yeah, and you know he's going to have to fight. He's going to have to come through Math Guy, or come through Patra again. Math Guy is.
Look at this, Math Guy getting even more bombs. So he was so starving in bombs, but now he's got a lot of bombs. He's getting even more bombs now.
All the bombs.
Bombs for days, but now he's got to be careful. He's down to 4 hearts. That's Hyrule Driver range, folks. So he takes 1 bomb from that. Oof.
And that last Wizrobe has been avoiding every bomb he could drop like the plague. Finally taking him down, getting a heart for his troubles.
So far, Dan H having a pretty good reverse. Boy, what an immaculate reverse C Dan H just have. The bubbles are going to pound it to him a little bit. But we've got ourselves a race. They're literally seconds apart right now. This is going to be a photo finish, ladies and gentlemen.
Could the conservative nature that Math Guy might have to take in a couple of rooms allow Dan H to catch up?
Don't forget, Dan H still has a full potion left, and he's got plenty of hearts to his name right now. So this clip is important right here for Dan. He's got to focus and not panic. And it looks like he may be panicking a little bit. Got to get focused.
Yeah. That clip right there, a lot of times you can tell how much someone's played randomizer by how they handled that reverse clip.
Yeah, Dan H just decided to clear that room. You know what? He did a pretty good job considering the circumstances. So Dan H is definitely still in this racing, and he has plenty of health. Math Guy down to 3 hearts. An orange Wizrobe Beam or a Hyrule Driver, he is down for the count. So it is coming down to the wire right here between these 2 competitors.
Man, this is the tightest race I've seen so far. This is fantastic.
Yeah, no question about it. It's the same here. I don't know what's going to happen, but right now, Math Guy continues to lead this. It is oh so close, though. Dan H breathing down his neck. Math Guy down to 2.5 hearts. Oh, and he gets a beam to the back. Oh, no!
Oh, he's down! Oh, no, Math Guy, 2 rooms away from Patra.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
And that is going to enable Dan H to slide in and take the lead. Keep in mind, he still has 1 potion left. And now he just has to get through this room very carefully, which he does. And if Dan H can pull off these next 2 rooms here with the Patra and Ganon, he is going to pull off the upset and go to 2-1 in the rounds. Wow, what a race this is.
Oh, it's said in chat by Insane Swirl. We just divided by 0 and Math Guy went down.
Yep. Now, Dan H needs to realize he still has a potion left. Half heart, use it. Go for it. Thank goodness for that half heart, huh?
Oh, goodness. Very, very close. I was a little worried that he wasn't gonna get that potion out in time.
All right, so now he's got the beam sword, and he should do what I do, because he was being a little bit too aggressive. What I was going to say is he should just keep his distance and let that beam sword go to work to him, because I had a run a couple weeks ago where I was doing that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Ganon. 4 hits we need.
Whew, he's got 31 shots to bring Ganon down here with his arrows. Gets a quick first hit on him, which is always nice.
Hyrule Driver's going to cost him 4, so we got 2, 3, 4.
Oh, wow. What a
We've
great
got
fight by Dan.
We've got the Triforce of Power, and Dan H is going to pull off the victory here and take down mathguy86. Congratulations to Dan. He will be 2-1 in the Swiss rounds. With a little swag to boot.
And here we have his official SRL time, 38 minutes, 22 seconds for Dan H. Get your GGs out.
Sometimes slow and steady wins the race, and that proved to be the case for Dan H. He only took a death or 2, but they were in very favorable spots. Picking up that potion really helped him, and that's how Dan was able to get this upset win against Math Guy.
Yep. Like I said, it all came down. I mean, obviously this was an incredibly intense race without it, but I mean, 5 minutes difference, you're within a death in 9, and so 1 death in 9 can completely change the complexion of an entire race, and it certainly did this one. What a tense finish that was, though.
And unfortunately for Math Guy, he went into the all-you-can-eat pancake buffet and stuffed himself full of like-likes, and that means he's going to have to go back to start. Now, this was an incredible race up until the final Wizrobe room for Math Guy, but what sealed his fate was he took a beam to the rear end, which put him down to half a heart, and unfortunately for Math Guy, he was unable to recover and set the bomb in time to get into the bomb hole to go into the next room, and that was that.
So now it becomes a completely different game for Math Guy, as he finds himself trying to finish level 9 with 3 hearts.
Yeah, that's the one very bad thing about this game is anytime you take a game over, when you start again from level 9, you start with only 3 hearts. You're not starting with the maximum. You're not starting with 6 or 7. You're starting with 3 hearts. That's it. If you want more hearts, you have to get out of there, drink a potion, or find a fairy fountain.
Yeah, I think the general idea is to maybe whistle to level 7 and get the fairy fountain over there. But even so, that's a huge time loss.
And with that, we do have our winner, Dan H, here in the commentator's booth. Dan, congratulations on your victory. You played a very solid race. You guys were neck and neck going into level 9. Math Guy had a slim lead on you, but he took a death in the final Wizrobe room, and that enabled you to sneak in and pull off the victory. How are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, somehow, right? I saw Math took probably to manhandle. I know he took a death in level 3, and
yes, he did.
I figured that would make us pretty much even up through level 5. But then my whole thing before level 1 and in level 1, and the whole time I'm just thinking, God, this is on speed gaming. What kind of product am I giving to
You were
the
giving
people
a pretty
right
good product, Dan H. And let me tell you, I don't know if you were listening in, but between you and Math Guy picked up the silver arrows about 10 seconds before you did. You had gained all that time on him because, number one, he needed to get the bombs from Patra 1. You did not have to get the bombs from Patra 1. You were able to get some bombs outside. You forced your counts beautifully, but I think the play that really helped you win this race was getting that potion for safety. You needed it, and those plays right there prior to going into level 9 was what won you this race.
Yeah, I always get that potion and force bombs from the levers just before that. Oh, the double 10 from Math Guy. Anyway, yeah, I saw it was about 30 seconds behind after level 7, I believe it was.
Oh, and Math Guy, oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but I think Math Guy has gone to one too many IHOPs tonight. That's another all-you-can-eat pancake death there. Back to start. Continue.
Yeah, so after 7, after screwing up that first screen scroll, getting to the left side of the screen to skip the Lost Woods, and then coming out on the right side of the screen. My screen scrolls this whole tournament have been iffy at best, and to hit that the first time but then not actually go forward through the correct screen was a little bit irritating. But
okay, I thought I saw that. I didn't see it cleanly enough to commentate on it, but I thought, man, he nailed that scroll. Oh wait, did he? Did he?
Oh yeah, it happened. And then, let's see, 6, the first magical breakfast room, just terrible. And I had to kind of slow down after that just to survive. But I still saw that I kind of had picked up probably about 5 seconds on him throughout level 6. And then level 8, I picked up another probably 15 seconds or so. So going into level 9, forcing the bombs, getting the potion, I figured, you know, this is pretty dang close, probably 10 or 15 seconds, and, well, I just won't die and see what happens.
Yeah, Math Guy completely got trolled in reverse C. There was one blue Wizrobe that refused to get hit by either his sword or the bombs. That's how it got to within 10 seconds, but then the death was what enabled you to take the lead and take it for good.
Yeah, in level 9, I didn't exactly have the greatest of luck either. I got FU beamed, just before Patra won,
Yep,
and
we saw
as soon as that happened, I'm just like, God, he is gonna go left. He's gonna go left, and I really don't know how to deal with Patra 1 when he goes left. So he went left, and I wound up getting hit 3 times, I think. So -6 hearts for me, and I had to take a potion in that very first Wizrobe room.
Yeah,
but then
we were talking there, thinking that has to not be quote unquote on script for how soon you wanted to drop that first potion.
Oh no! Typically, I potion after the final forced Wizrobe room, the one with the traps. That's where I'm usually at with taking a potion. But Reverse C went great because I got all sorts of bomb drops before then, and I could just go to town with them.
Oh man, he just got orange Wizrobe. He's down to half heart again.
Oh,
no.
Gosh. That room has been so unkind to Math Guy tonight.
It really has been. He has been Wizrobe to death twice now, and that may do it for Math Guy. Oh, he's going to try it again. Yeah, that room ended up being the difference because now that's twice he's been trolled by Wizrobes in that same room. The last required Wizrobe room you have to get through, he just has not been able to find the opening to set off the bomb to go to that final room. Well, speaking of bombs, he actually has no bombs left.
Yeah, so he's gonna need one somewhere.
Yeah, so he'll need to get a lucky bomb drop from an orange Wizrobe, and I think that's what was going on in that particular room. I actually hadn't noticed that. He needs to get some bombs. Now he's going to the south here and hope for some bomb drops from these fires. He does get one.
Of course, they took a cut out of him as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a tough break there because every time you get hit by a fire, you lose 1 heart.
And for those in the chat maybe wondering, the seeding in this tournament is based heavily upon your average race time, and so that is why Math Guy is trying everything he can to finish as quickly as possible here.
I believe the maximum amount of time for seeding purposes is 1 hour. Now, Math Guy is going to try to force a count here against this old man. Every time you stab him, you're building up that count, and I think he's trying to build up a fairy count.
Oh yeah, certainly seems to be trying to make his way to 16. I know he got hit once in there. Hopefully he took that into consideration.
I think he did, but we're going to find out.
Nope.
Got a 5
Nope.
rupee.
Nope.
Tough break. I mean, I like Math Guy's strategy because he did exactly the right play that he needed to do. Build that count to 16 so you get a forced fairy drop and recover 3 of your hearts. But I think he missed it by 1. We're getting some indication he might have missed it by 1. I mean, counting to 10 or counting to 16 seems like it's got to be the easiest task in the world. But when you've got a lot going on in the screen at the same time, sometimes it's easy to lose track. Now, I believe, based on what I'm seeing, it's the top 24 in the Swiss stages that advances to the bracket stages. Am I understanding that correctly?
I think that's the math that they've come up with, and so it's going to be filled up by everyone who either goes 5-0 or 4-1, and I think everything after that is based entirely on average time.
And another death by Wizrobes to Math Guy. Boy, this is just this has got to be a frustrating level 9 for Math Guy. I mean, we know he's a really, really good player. Again, he's got a PB in the 31-minute range. So, I mean, he is definitely a good caliber Zelda player. It's just unfortunate for him that level 9 has not treated him very kindly, particularly the Wizrobes.
We see many cries in chat for him to that are advocating for extra health. The best I can say for this situation is Math Guy being as good of a run.
Oh no! Another FU beam to the face. Jeez, these Wizrobes mean business tonight for Math Guy.
Well, before he got beamed there, I was going to say I think the mindset of a runner who has a time as good as his is that they can make it work in this situation. Obviously, it's not happening right now, but I got to think that's what Math Guy's thinking. Is that he's probably thinking I've made it through level 9 without getting hit too many times before.
So for those of you who are wondering how we are breaking down who qualifies for the bracket stages of the tournament, if you have at least 4 wins during another FU beam to the face from Math Guy, man, somebody hit the stop button on those Wizro beams already. Anyways, what I was going to mention is if you get at least 4 wins during our 5-round Swiss tournament, you are automatically into the bracket stages of the tournament. The rest of the spots will be filled by players who have the best average time, with the win-loss record being the next tiebreaker, then the strength of schedule.
Yeah, so conceivably, there is a possible world where a 1-4 runner could get in over a 3-2 runner. I mean, obviously, it's probably not going to happen, but you know, if average times were better, then theoretically he would get in over the player who finished 3-2.
That's true, and all it takes is a couple of unlucky matchups. You know, let's say you have a time of 32 minutes and you're sitting on 1-3, and you go up against a runner who might have a 33.5-minute average, and they're 1-3. And you could turn in a 31-minute run and still lose. Yeah,
I mean, we've got Lack Attack and Unos going up against each other on Saturday in round 3 of the Swiss. One of them's going to lose.
Yeah, that's right, unless we have the rare tie. And based on what I saw during the reveal of this tournament, we have had a tie in this tournament before in the past.
It has happened. It's been a long time, obviously. We came really close to it in the randomizer tournament in the play-in race between myself and Ryan 7 for the last spot in the brackets, but that one was actually separated by 1 second. Oh, that fairy was just living with the Wizrobe.
Wow, Sprite, please. I know I usually say that for Zelda 2, but I think it's warranted in this situation, Liquid Husband.
The question from chat from Bud Weimer, if you forfeit, you're automatically entered it as an hour. I know chat's you're gonna see it in chat before you hear it from my voice at this point, but that is how it goes in. I think we noticed that Dan H's his 2 times look like his average time looked like his best time plus an hour divided by 2. So I'm assuming he had a forfeit in his loss.
Yeah, that would probably be a safe bet there, Liquid Husband. But yeah, this 38-14 or 38-20. What was it? 38-25.
38-22 was his SRL time for this race.
Yeah, because we go by SRL time, not the time that you see on screen. So that 38-22 that Dan H picked up tonight, that is really going to help his average out and could potentially be a tiebreaker for, you know, advancing to the next round of the tournament, the bracket stages.
And finally gets a fairy that isn't being guarded so heavily by a Wizrobe. The day the Wizrobes wouldn't die.
Yep, and Math Guy now at 6 hearts, so he's got a little bit of a cushion here going up against the Wizrobes in the final room. Now, I believe, and I could be wrong about this, I believe that the Wizrobe room... I'm probably wrong about this. The room prior to the staircase that takes into the final Wizard room, I believe that's still going to be clear, yes or no?
Did he clear it?
He had to have cleared it.
Oh, that one, yes. I think traps and bubbles both will cause the room to stay cleared. So if there are traps or bubbles in it, it should stay clear.
Right. Okay. Yep, right on the money. There are traps in this room, so yep, the Wizrobes are gone for good. So now, let's see if the third try is the charm for Math Guy in this final Wizrobe room. He needs to get a bomb off to the left. He's got 3 chances, and he takes care of one of the orange Wizrobes. Yeah, he's got it.
That was much much more cooperative than it had been this entire run for him.
And I think Math Guy is going to try to get some extra health, but does not get any extra health from those Zols. Not really the best enemy in the world to get health drops. They do drop hearts sometimes, but they are in the money dropping group.
Yeah. Yeah, their heart dropping potential is kind of but it is there.
All right, here we go. Patra 3 now for Math Guy. He needs to be careful because if he takes even one bop from the Patra, he'll be susceptible to a high roll driver.
Yeah. Now I got to think that maybe even Ganon is rooting for Math Guy at this point.
Yeah. Well, that was a very good Patra 3 fight. So now let's see how Math Guy does against Ganon. We need 4 hits from the magical sword. And he fires an arrow going into that room, hoping to hit him on the head right there, but no dice.
Swag arrow.
There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. We've got more bacon and another Triforce of Power. So Math Guy will finish below the hour threshold. So let's see your GGs for Math Guy. He persevered and he has completed his run.
We have an official SRL time for Math Guy of 55 minutes, 23 seconds. What a testament to his fortitude and determination there. Finishing out a run that really did not want to be finished.
Yeah, in Math Guy's situation, I wouldn't have tried again on 3 hearts. I mean, I know when I play this, I have a blue tunic, I've got a double potion, I've got 16 hearts instead of 13 hearts. So, but still, you got to give Math Guy credit. He did not give up. He didn't go back, buy a potion. He didn't go back to a fairy fountain. He went ahead and tanked it full through. He did persevere, and he completed the run. So, good race between Dan H and Math Guy. We'll see if we have an interview for Math Guy.
Yep, I have extended the olive branch to him if he wishes to cleanly vent, as I put it in this situation.
Make sure you give both Dan H and Math Guy 86 a follow. They'd had a really thrilling race. Don't let the 2 times deceive you because, again, this was a 10-second race going into that final Wizrobe room, and that's just when it all went haywire for Math Guy 86. So, again, don't let those times fool you. We had ourselves a race. And with that, looks like we do have Math Guy 86 here in the commentator's booth. Great race between you and Dan Age. It was coming down to the wire, but then the Wizrobes. Oh, the Wizrobes. Go over this run with us.
Looks like Math Guy may still be getting set up here in the room. His mic is currently muted.
While we get him ready to go, I do want to remind you that we do have 3 races coming your way. Currently, I don't see any restream channels for that, so please make sure you're keeping track of the Google Doc here. But we've got Reeves and Scofflaw at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have Lasso 42 versus Raikou Rider at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we have Cake Sauce and Darkwing Duck, who is the number 4 player in the world now, I do believe. And that is going to be 10 o'clock Eastern. So we've got 3 great races set up for you tomorrow night.
Yep, 3 fantastic races, like you said. Still trying to see about getting Math Guy. It looks like Math Guy may be... are you able to hear us now, Math?
You hear me?
We can hear you, Math Guy.
Loud and clear.
Was stuck on mute for some reason, and I couldn't unmute it, even though I was clicking unmute over and over again.
Well, it is Discord.
Yep, Discord being Discord. Sorry about that, but tell you what, this was a thrilling race. I mean, the results obviously don't reflect that, but it was a 10-second race going into the that final Wizrobe room, but then it happened.
Well, so, I mean, obviously I had plenty of bomb troubles early, which took me a while to recover from. Ran out of bombs in 3, died on Manhandla while running out of bombs, rather than had deformed bombs in the overworld to go fight Manhandla, ran out of bombs again. Had deformed bombs on the way into 4, but then I was more or less back on track until I had to do the 2 first instead of 5 first, which is not that big of a deal, to be honest. So I was recovering pretty fine, but I knew that Dan's PB was in the 37, 38 range, so I didn't have anything up. So I didn't know it was close, but I felt like it was probably close based on what his PB was and his previous races were. So I went the half tile instead of the full tile. Once that bomb missed, it's hard to that room long enough. That room is all about not being in that room very long. So once I missed the full tile and was on the half tile and I only had 3 hearts, I knew it was over.
Yeah, certainly it was unfortunate. And from that point on, it just seemed to get more and more unforgiving for you, unfortunately.
With as much of 9 as I had...
Yeah.
With as much of 9 as I had cleared, there was really no reason to leave. But I couldn't get a pattern that worked for me in that first Wizrobe room. It was very silly. And I legitimately thought that the bomb door blew up before I died. So when I got all the way back there and the bomb door was not blown up, I was not very happy.
I would think not. And I do remember one specific Wizrobe that was guarding the fairy that you had gotten to drop, like its life depended on it, not letting you pick it up.
I mean, there's no, if you've already cleared that far to 9 and you leave, then everything you've cleared comes back. All the enemies that there was only 1 or 2 enemies left, all the Wizrobes and rooms with traps, it all would have come back. And obviously it could have left and gotten a potion and bought bombs and all that stuff. But once you clear that first Wizrobe room, there's really nothing else to do. And so I was like, if I can get through the first Wizrobe room with 3-4 hearts, that's all I ever really need anyway. And I just kept getting bad patterns in that first Wizrobe room over and over again. It felt silly to keep trying again, but there really is no reason to leave, because that is really the only room I had left to do anything in. And I just couldn't get a good pattern.
Yeah, those Wizrobes can be some meanies there, particularly with those bubbles. But yeah, you did persevere. You were still able to beat that in under an hour. So you're currently 1-2. Dan H is 2-1. But there's still plenty of time for you, Math Guy, to get back into this tournament. If you can get a couple of solid races, you still might be able to make the bracket stages yet.
Well, I'll hope for 3-2. I'm not sure about brackets. My average race time's not looking too good right now, but I'll do my best. Hope to have a little fun along the way. Maybe get a couple wins. Who knows?
Yep, and keep preaching the running this game on emulator gospel to people all around the world.
Who knows? Maybe if I was on console, I would have walked the whole tile.
Yeah, maybe.
That input lag, man.
And congratulations on the both of you for a very exciting race. Dan H, congratulations on your victory, going to 2-1. If you can win the next 2 races, you will be guaranteed a spot in the bracket stages. So to both of you, I wish you the best of luck in your 4th race. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Any final questions or thoughts?
No.
GG.
Yep, GG to the both of you.
Just
Any
one
final
G
questions? Just 1 G. Any final questions on the husband?
Oh no, I think we've covered all of the horrible things about level 9 ad nauseum at this point. So I think we're good. I mean, you guys, if you don't know how intense that was from this end, it was so neck and neck for the last few dungeons that it was getting rather hype in here for us. Couple of low-key individuals such as Laws and myself getting pretty fired up about this race.
Yeah, you bet. This was a really, really good race. Starting in level 5, when you converge the paths together like that, and Dan H continued to close the ground on you, and then by the time Silver Arrows happened, it was a 10-second race. It was getting really exciting for the both of you. It could have gone to either one of you. So it was a great race. Congratulations on a very great race, and again, best of luck to you in your 4th matchup coming up next week.
Since when is Laws low key?
I was hoping the kappa was implied there.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations, Dan. Math, not much to say other than wow. Zelda sucks sometimes, but appreciate you sticking it through.
Well, GG Dan, and good luck next week, and we'll both just do our best and try to have some fun.
All right. Yep. Thanks for the stream, guys.
Absolutely. So that is going to do it for us tonight here on Speed Gaming 2. I'll remind you again, we have 3 races coming for you tomorrow in the Zelda tournament. We've got Reeves and Scafflaw at 8 p.m. Eastern, Lasso 42 and Raikou Rider at 9 p.m. Eastern, Cake Sauce and Darkwing Duck 10 p.m. Eastern. So on behalf of our 2 runners tonight, Dan H. and mathguy86, on behalf of Feasel and Speed Gaming 2, and on behalf of Liquid Husband, my commentator partner, make sure you give all of them a follow. I'm LOZ Cards Fan 23. Hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. So long, everybody.